We give glory to Almighty Allah, and I also thank all my colleagues and supporters of PDP across Nigeria for believing and giving us the support that we're able to deliver this credible convention that has reinvented and re-energized PDP to take over Nigeria in 2023. They should expect that we are giving a quick notice to APC and that we have come to take over and reclaim Nigeria so that we can bring and stitch the country together, improve on our economy and infrastructure.
So you've heard the man that was in charge of planning the convention. Well, what is this entire thing? Right? Because look, for some people, it's just an event. It's not more than that. With all of the optimism and positives from the PDP convention, how does the PDP hope to navigate through the landmines and come together to pose a viral opposition to the APC? I'm being joined now by the governor of Delta State, who has also served as the chairman of the screening committee of the PDP. He joins us from Asaba, the Delta State capital. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight. I guess I should begin by asking you the implication of the convention. You're not new to the convention as a senator, a two-term governor. You're not new to this kind of situation. But look, for a lot of people who are grounded in politics, we know that convention is an event, perhaps a means to an end. The big question is that your party, the PDP, was defeated by the APC twice now, 2015 and 2019. But it does look like your party has one agenda, and that, they say, is rescue Nigeria. What does that really mean? I don't know if the governor can hear me now.
Hello?
Or is
Hello?
having trouble with the connection?
Yeah, hello.
The
I can hear you now.
State, who also served as the chairman of the screening committee at the PDP National Convention. There are a lot of issues that came up in respect of the screening, the confirmation of those who ran for office, 21 positions. 3 of them were those that were in contestation, about 18 or 19 or so were those that came as consensus. But I understand now that the governor can hear me now. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. If you can hear me, the question I fired earlier was about the optimism of your party. It does look like, for a lot of the leaders of your party, this is a new start, a new beginning for your party. For a lot of politicians, those who are grounded, we know that a convention is just a means to an end. The journey just began, and your party has said is a rescue mission for Nigeria. What does that agenda mean?
In the first instance, I agree with you that it's just the beginning. But the beginning is a good start because we have a very, very friendly national convention in which most of the positions actually were likely the persons contesting were returned unopposed. They're serving for 3 out of the 21. So that sends the right message. It's the right communication to Nigerians that PDP is truly ready. The rescue mission is about our country. We do know exactly what we're in at the moment. There's so much crisis in everything. Crisis in insecurity, crisis in the economy, and a lot of people are truly very hungry. The number of them employed is growing by the day. The youths are becoming very restive, and they are no longer comfortable with the country they call their own. So when you look at all these things and the fact that the economy is thriving every day, and when you look at the kind of budget that is being presented to Nigerians, there is cause to worry that it is something that cannot actually take us in the right direction. So there are lots of issues, and most particularly the insecurity issue in the land, which is growing worse by the day, and that is beginning to impact very negatively, even on the production in terms of our agricultural produce. And that is not good enough for our country, because from real insecurity, we may find ourselves in the next few years going to food insecurity. And that will probably be the worst of everything that we can have as a nation. So looking at the totality of all this, you definitely agree with me that we need to retrieve Nigeria from the pathway that we're doing at the moment. It's not the best for us. And I think it's agreeable by all Nigerians that something needs to be done. And that's why we have presented ourselves as a credible alternative to take Nigeria back to the path of progress, to take Nigeria back to a situation where people can begin to build hope for tomorrow. As of today, a lot of our youths, a lot of Nigerians they're feeling very, very bad about the nation. And this kind of situation is not the best for us. We need to recreate hope. We need to make them believe that Nigeria is one. Nigeria is a united country, and that there is hope for a new Nigeria in which you can truly also aspire to do the things that we aspire to do, and where we are confident that our children will have livable places and will not be in a situation where we find ourselves going into very deep insecurity crisis like we have in places like Afghanistan. So we're actually almost at that level now at the moment, and it's not the best for our nation.
I mean, for someone like you, you are a very, you've been in the PDP for years and years. And after every major convention, there's always the need to clear the table of some of the issues that are left. For example, the absence of the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, his vice, Namadi Sambo. Naturally, these are supposed to be the leaders of the party because your party does not have a sitting president. But those two were conspicuously absent at that convention, which to some analysts, they believe that something is still wrong with the PDP in terms of cohesion, in terms of unity. How do you explain that kind of absence of such political figures that should be leading the ranks of the PDP?
In the first instance, I believe that communications were made with the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, who already had some prior engagement outside the country. He had promised I was going to look at his program to see if he'll be able to attend, but at the last moment, 2 days to the time on Thursday, we were informed by the governor of Berates State that he would be unable to attend the convention because he had previously giving commitments somewhere outside the country, and he had to meet up with that. However, I think that the PDP is very cohesive, and we're working together. They are leaders and fathers of the party, we do agree, but we're continuing to keep ourselves together, and you can find that we are truly, truly very united and working together, and the message was clearly sent at the convention that took place 2 days ago. The message was very clear that this is a united family, this a family that has been recreated to give hope to Nigeria. I cannot immediately tell you now why the former vice president was not able to attend, because we expected him at the convention ground, so I've not had time to have any communication as to why he was not able to attend. But you're also very much aware that PDP is still very strong in Kaduna State, where he comes from, and I'm not aware of any real issues in the place. I do hope that he may have had some reasons why he was not able to attend, and that we can find out later.
In the run-up to the 2015 election, the dominance of governors in the PDP, to a large extent, some will blame the problem of the PDP at that time to the dominance of the governors. And you can also see the dominance in this very convention. Almost all the positions that were backed by the governors of many of the states were validated, from the position of Ambassador Arakpaja to the position of even the national chairman. I mean, there are a lot of these positions that we knew the stance of the governors and how they stood. And some forces in the PDP have the opinion that ex-governors, some leaders in the party, are being sidelined. How does a party handle this kind of thing? Or what can you explain on behalf of your colleagues and the criticism against the governors in the PDP that it does look like their dominance is becoming over dominating the party and its affairs?
In the first instance, I don't think I would like to agree with you that the governors are dominating the party. The language dominance is a very strong language. I don't think it's a strong word, and I don't think that that word is right at this appropriate instance. The real truth is that governors, as leaders of the party, have the right to sit together, to give guidance to the party, and I believe that that was exactly what did happen. If you watch what did happen in the North, you find that there were different levels of consultation, and the communication was clear because at the beginning, a lot of leaders met in the North, including the name of Senator Yochayu did prop top, and at that level, there were arguments on all sides. And after that, I know that they did resolve to go back to their various zones to throw up national chairmanship aspirants from the three zones of the Northwest, North Central, and Northeast. And at the end, when three different persons did emerge, they did come back to a meeting in which, of course, there was a lot of discussion. And at the end of the discussion, the other two aspirants that emerged from the Northwest did step down from Senator Yochayu. So for somebody like Governor Sherma to step down for former Governor Sherma to step down for Senator Yochayu, there must have been a superior argument at that point in time, because those who were sitting at that level were not just governors, but party leaders, members of the BOT, and many other persons who were involved. And the person of the national chairman comes with a very high level of integrity, high level of experience. Is the kind of person that has the necessary command structure with reasonability of an administrative background that can truly help to keep the party intact, keep the party united, and cause us to move forward as a party in this rescue mission that we're undertaking. You can, looking at you find that he occupies that position within the party where he's able to address everybody, including the governors. He's able to look somebody straight in the eyes and say, yes, I understand your reasoning, but this is right, this is wrong. I think that is the kind of personality we did want, and that was a personality that did emerge. It's a good thing for a party, and I do know that it went through various levels of consultation beyond the governors. The choice was actually not made by the governors; it was made by the North and by the North. And by the time his name was thrown up to those of us in the South, we're happy that we made the right choice, because it's a good man, knowledgeable, a man of that has the integrity level that we really need at this point in time. And looking through most of the positions that eventually went to the various zones, I know that there were different levels of consultation, including the positions in the South-South. We did meet, we did zone the positions, and everybody went back to its various zone to communicate the zoning to the various positions. That's why you find that even some states that don't have governors, sitting governors, came up with very strong positions in the national working committee because of the different levels of consultation. We had enough time, knowing that we're in troubled times, and the fact that if you say you're going for a rescue, you must keep the house in order. And we truly worked hard to keep our house in order. That cannot be said to be dominance. It is a question of respect for each other. In a space where you're actually dominating, you don't give room for others to speak. You become autocratic, but that's exactly not what we did. We gave guidance to the party, and I do know that there are several instances where candidates did emerge without truly the input of the governors. And I think the National Convention and the processes that followed to the convention were actually very consultative. And at the end, it paid off for us, and we give thanks to God.
Some of the, it might be the use of dominance. I mean, I try to find a synonym to that word. It looks to me that the governors, like you said, are the leaders of the party in the state. So it does look to me that they're one of the strongest peer groups within the party. You have the Senate caucus, you have the House of Reps caucus, you have the former National Assembly members. You have all of these peer groups, pressure groups in the party. But it does look like the governors have the most obvious or the most conspicuous presence. But there is a scenario that played out. Maybe or maybe not. It wasn't intentional. But I'll try to bring it up so that maybe there's an explanation for it. Your Excellency, for example, the name of former Senate President David Mark was on the cards. At some point, he dropped out for Senator Yocha Ayu. The name of former governor of Osun State, Olagusoye Oyinlola, came up and he lost to Ambassador Arakpaja. These are former military officers, and it does look like what some of the paper analysts is saying is that there seems to be a navigation of the party led by the governors against some kind of forces in the party. Is it intentional, or is just optic, or there's an explanation for it?
There's nothing truly intentional about what happened. Senator Mark is somebody we all respect, we love. He's a leader of the party that you cannot but respect. And I think that Senator Ayu is also somebody who falls within that personality that we have in the party. Senator Mark eventually, yes, was thought of initially, but the name that came out strong was that of Senator Ayu. And I do know that Senator Mark is somebody who respects some level of hierarchy. I do believe that he felt that Senator Ayu was Senate President well ahead of him, and he defers to him most times. Because I'm aware that in the process of consultation, even before we got to the stage of thinking about who will be the next national chairman, in one of our consultative meetings, well ahead of time, when the governors met with former presiding officers of the National Assembly, former governors and former ministers, and also current officers of the National Assembly. When somebody had to speak for the group, Senator Mark actually deferred to Senator Ayu to speak for the group. That is the kind of personality that Senator Mark is. And that also means that he has a lot of respect for Ayu. And I believe that Senator Mark withdrew because he did not want to go into any form of competition with Senator Ayu. That was what happened. And as I did tell you, the zones eventually went into their levels of consultation, and eventually people like Governor Sherman stepped down for Senator Ayu. I think that's a clear democratic path, a consensus built out of the fact that we wanted the best. We wanted somebody who had a command structure with reasonability of enough administrative capacity to take the party at the moment. As to what happened in the Southwest, yes, there were different levels of consultation. The name of Oyinlola did come in, Arapaja did come in, but in the wisdom of the leaders of the Southwest and the governor who is the leader of the zone, he has certain reasons to believe that it was best to push Arapaja at this moment. And I think that issue is settled. Oyinlola is a fine gentleman, and what he opted for was that he would like to run the race to the end, for which we respected his views. If you worked during the convention, all the governors, former Senate President, Senator Mark, Senator Bukola Saraki, were all walked up to him to try to talk to him at the last moment. And he reassured us that he was happy with everything as it was going, that he just wanted to present himself. He would rather want to win or lose on the convention ground. And that was exactly what happened. And you can see that we are back on course. We are happy. One good thing, one good fallout of the whole contest is that to a large extent, the Osun State chapter of the party now appears to be very united. But I still think that the governors tried their best to try to give guidance to the party. Since we don't have a president, somebody must lead. And in trying to lead, it had to be a collective leadership to be able to get to where we are. If we left it loose, it would look like a ship without a captain, and that would not be right for us. But we were sure that at every point in time, there were various consultation levels. We had meetings with all the groups that you talked about now. Before the final decisions were taken, we had meetings with all of them. And those meetings were held on Wednesday and Thursday last week. And
all right. I think Your Excellency, to wrap up this conversation, we just have about 60 seconds or so. I'd like to ask you, there has been suggestion as to whether or not your party needs some kind of rebranding, maybe a change of name, considering the allegations by the APC that your party brought Nigeria into the mess that it is right now and they're trying to fix it. That's what the APC alleges. Now, the question is that how will your party be able to navigate through that moment of wanting to rescue Nigeria and telling Nigerians that you can do better than what the APC is doing presently?
In the first instance, we are not competing with them anymore, because looking through the years of the PDP and looking through this past 6 years plus, the difference is clear that Nigerians, I believe that Nigerians are able to see for themselves that the PDP came in at a time when things were really very difficult, and we're able to build a foundation. And that foundation, we started building on that foundation that was laid by the Obasanjo's regime. And we went on. But apparently, it appears that everything is tumbling down. Everything is just going in the reverse in such a manner that is not good for our nation. The level of insecurity, the economy today, look at the time the PDP was in power and when we were living, the Naira to the dollar level, and what it is today. There are too many issues, a lot of issues. We are getting to a state now where we are not even short of food, even for the middle class, not to talk of the very low class. The very high level of unemployment, farmers cannot even access their farms. That was not the situation. Most of the things that we see today that has brought Nigeria on good strides were actually foundations laid by the PDP. I'm looking through the economic projections to find that we have gotten it all wrong in this current administration. And I believe that Nigerians know the truth, and Nigerians do know that PDP will do much better than the APC. There's no competition, there's no comparison at this level, because the truth it is quite clear that we are actually not moving in the right direction under the APC governance.
All right. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Delta State and the Chairman of the Accreditation Committee of the National Convention of the PDP, Governor Senator Okowa, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. I appreciate your thought that you've shared with us.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. God bless.
We'll take a break, everyone, and when we come back, the conversation continues on the 2023, the agenda of the PDP. Two men will be joining me. Both of them are very strong views about the position of their parties. Anthony Ayilebo, a lawyer member of the PDP, and Alwan Hassan, a member of the APC, about the PDP rescue agenda. Is the APC jittery? Is the PDP ready? We get talking after now. Join us again, everyone.